my god, the intros are the worst. They're the hardest thing to get through. My name is Savannah of Sewlivi Dyes Yarn, and welcome to my channel. This is episode, what, like 73 or something? I'm not sure. I don't really keep track. I just change it when I upload the video. Anyway, so welcome to my channel. This is a crafting channel. I am a knitter, hand dyer, spinner. I cross stitch occasionally, sew things, which I did not bring my sewing project this time, but I will try to insert pictures later. But yeah, it's mostly just knitting. That is what I do. It is actually Sunday, March 27th. Normally I film these on a Monday, early in the morning, but we have time right now, or I have time right now, I should say, to do this now so that tomorrow's not so crazy for me, because I do feel like, well, spring break is over tomorrow. Today, Sunday, is the last day of spring break for us, so going back to work and school tomorrow, so I feel like life is just gonna get hectic again. So I thought, hey, might as well make it a little bit easier by filming this a little earlier. Anyway, the lighting seems very different to me for some reason. It is, I'd say it's because it's 5 o'clock in the evening, but there is no windows down here, so I don't think that's it. I don't understand why. Why to me it feels different, but it does. Maybe because I'm coming from upstairs where there are lots of windows and natural light, maybe. So this just feels dark and dungeon-like. My yarn dungeon. Anyways, let's go ahead and get into this because I had a lot happen this past week. This past week, I worked on a sewing project, so we'll just jump into that because there's only one of that. So I worked on a sewing project. I don't know how exactly to pronounce it. It's like estuary skirt by Sew Liberated. It's cute. I'll insert what I have in here so you can see it. Super cute. Somehow it ended up a little bit too big in the waist. I'm not sure how that happened. I measured my waist, picked the size according to that measurement, and did everything I could, but it ended up being too big. I'm wondering if I stretched out the elastic too far when I sewed it in. I'm not sure. There was a spot in the pattern that said, hey, go ahead and try it on at this point to see. I skipped it. I skipped that step because I was like, no, I should have, because it ended up being a little too big, so I had to cinch it in the front a little bit. I do want to make another one, preferably in black, so whenever I get around to getting more fabric, I'll make it again, and maybe I'll make the size down, or I'll make the exact same size and just make sure, like maybe I'll make or I'll gather it more in the front because there's gathering, and then the elastic, maybe I'll make it a little bit shorter so I can just cinch it in at the waist more, because I have all the pattern pieces cut out to my size already, and I don't want to cut the next size down and then that be too small. Anyway, so that's that. I did that, worked on that over a couple of days. I even made like a little Instagram reels, which I'm kind of proud of because it was a lot of small clips that I ended up editing together, and I was worried that it was going to take a really long time and be quite hard, but it was pretty easy and took me a few minutes, so I enjoyed that. What else did I do? I did a lot of knitting, and I worked a lot on my, you can't see it, my sock knitting machine, my Dean and Bean, this green contraption over there. I did a lot of work on that. I struggled a lot, but I got through it and made several pairs of socks as practice. So I'll go ahead and show you that, I guess. So I wanted to make a shorter pair of socks. I had this, I need to trim these, my woven in ends kind of popped through, but I wanted to try shorter socks to see how that would feel. The sock, the gauge, I am doing pretty well with that, so that's not an issue. It's still a little wide in this part, but that's because it's not ribbing, so it's not cinched in. So there's a little bit of issues with that. I did add in a stripe, as you can see. Once this one has wider stripes than this one on accident. Just once I realize I knit too much, I can't go back. I haven't figured out or did the research to figure out how to unknit on the machine. So if I go past where I need to be, I gotta put in an extra row, which, oh well. These were for me, they were practice. I honestly wanted to try putting in a different color heel and toe, but the yarn, I don't know if you can see it right here, this black yarn right here that's hanging on the wall, I bought that back in like December. It's a Madeline, no, it's not Madeline Tosh, it's Malabrigo sock. I went to go ahead and I put it on my Swift right here to wind it up into a cake so I could use it, and realized that it is one giant tangled mess. Like, I was able to manage like a small ball off of it before I just gave up. It was like, I don't know if it's because of the dye process or something, it felt like it all, I mean, the skein was probably just completely tangled as well, but it felt almost felted together, like it was really stuck together and felt horrible. The dye kept transferring to my fingers, and it just wasn't fun. Like, it was not easy at all to unwind. So I took the little bit off that I could and just set it over there, because I'm just like, I don't want to mess with it. So that was a little heartbreaking, but so I wasn't able to do the color heels and toes. And when I did think about doing like I almost thought about doing the toe on the first one, I had already set up to do the toe, and then once you set up, you can't add your color in. So yeah, I do need to practice a little bit more with adding in different heels and toe color. It's something I want to try. But I'm calling these my Billie Eilish socks because of the black and the green. Some nice slime green color. This is something I over dyed a long time ago. I don't even remember what it looked like initially, but I just had this in my stash, so I was like, okay, let's use it. What I did was wind off about 50 grams because I wanted to see what I could get, and then do the other 50 as a new pair of shorty socks. So I did that as well. Here's the shorties. No black in these ones. So a pair of shorty socks. Getting better. These are really comfortable. So I haven't worn these ones yet because these ones are actually going to go on my website soon. Just need to take pictures and work on the listings and all that jazz. But I did make myself a pair that I'm wearing right now. I'll show you. Wearing these ones right now. These another skein of yarn that I dyed up. I think it ended up being like a mist dye, because this used to be a colorway in my shop called Magic Tree, and this one didn't look like the rest of them, so I kept it in my stash and decided to turn it into some shorty socks. So I knit this set, so I do have another one. And while I was knitting the first one, some of the yarn got snagged, and so there was like a huge, like, what do you want to call it? Is it on this one? Yeah, it's on this one. Like, I got a huge snag right here. I don't know what happened, but I could not undo it. And it was in the foot. And unfortunately, it was on the bottom of the foot. So I was like, well, I can't offer this for sale because no one's going to want to wear that on the bottom of their foot, especially if you're not used to hand knit socks. So I was like, okay, I'll just keep this set for myself. I do have more of this yarn to make one more set of shorties. So those ones will probably go on the website as well when I get those made up. But yeah, I've been going crazy with the socks. Initially, I was going to just knit up all these yarns that I'll show you right here for the socks. But then I was like, well, not everybody has the same size feet as me. I wear a US 7 women's shoe, And I know not everybody has the same thing. So I just like, okay, I need to stop making socks. What I need to do is probably list the skeins on my website and then make like an option, like drop down thing for your size kind of thing. Because I can do the math for figuring out how many rows I need to knit to make the length of your foot. The circumference of your foot though, that'll have to be the same as mine. So, I mean, that is all going to be listed on the website when I do go ahead and add those listings, but just so you're aware, that's going to happen soon. So I'll show you the colors that are going to go up currently. I do have more that I think I'm going to add in the future, but I want to start small. So I'm going to only offer the shorty sock version since it is springtime. These will be good for summertime. I think once we get through the summer a little bit more, I'll start adding like taller socks. I don't think they'll be this short. I think I'll end up doing a little bit taller, but we'll see. I'll also be adding cranked tubes to the website. So when I get some more inspiration to dye yarn, I will start dyeing with the thought process of cranking it into tubes so that you can turn them into your own pair of socks by knitting the heels, toes, and cuffs so you can make them your size. What else? And I'm gonna add a crank service, so you could buy yarn that's already in the shop and ask for it to be cranked into a tube, kind of like my cake winding service. Or you can also send me your yarn if you'd like. So it doesn't even have to be Sewlivi Dyes yarn. You can send me whichever brand you have that you might want to be turned into a socks or a tube. Totally up to you. But I think those are what I'm going to do soon, hopefully. I just really need to get the motivation. I can't sell products if I don't make them or even list them, right? But anyways, let's go ahead and show you what's going to be available soon. These are all my own hand-dyed yarns. For now, I'll probably add others eventually, like not just my own hand-dyed, but just others that I feel would be pretty socks that people might like. But for now, I have this skein, so deep blue teals with a pop of white and pink. Pinky purples. I think these are going to make really fun socks, to be honest. I might have to make myself a pair of socks. So one skein can make 2 pairs of shorty socks in about the I think a US 6 to a US 8 in women's. I believe that's what a skein of yarn can do. I have not pushed it to the limit though. So one option, I have this sparkly thing. So these two were snow dyed together. So they're pretty similar. This one's just more purple and blue, and it's on this sparkle base. So this is a 75-25 superwash merino nylon. This one is I believe it's 60%. I don't know if it's superwash, but merino. 60, 70, 89. Okay, 20% nylon and then 20% stellina. I'm not entirely sure. It'll be listed on the website, but look at that sparkle. It's extra sparkly. I have a pair of socks in this base that I made a long time ago. I really like it. I just don't recommend drying them in the dryer. This you can dry in the dryer, not a problem. This, it does felt after 4 or 5 washes. It starts to felt. That's so fun to look at, the sparkle. So these two, and then I had this one in my shop that I need to pull out. It hasn't sold, so I'm gonna turn it into socks maybe, if anybody wants a pair of socks out of this. This is my minty chip colorway. So it's teal with speckles of brown. And then the last one is my Colorado, is it autumn or Colorado leaves? Again, another one listed in my shop. I'll need to take it down. but I'll turn these into socks as well. So yeah, definitely keep an eye out for any posts on Instagram or newsletter wise, which you can find. You can sign up for my newsletter at the bottom of my website. The website is linked down below in the description, so you can find everything that way. And I will announce it here, I guess, on my channel when I do have it listed. I'm hoping to have everything listed by the next video. So during this next week or so, it should be listed. So yeah, I did dye yarn as well, but I'm not entirely sure if this will go towards socks or if it's just gonna go into the shop. I'm doing a knit along in June, and so I was dyeing up some colors for the possible knit along. Not 100% thrilled. I do love this peach color though, so this is definitely going to go in there into the it's a shawl that me and a couple other people are gonna knit together, a brioche shawl called Plumpy by Andrea Mowry. So that I did another, like, it's a sage color of pale sage with very light speckles. And then this was kind of supposed to be the like speckled one to go with it, but I don't know if it goes very well. So it's pink with speckles of blue and brown, and there was supposed to be some of that sage green in here, but it didn't really show up because the sage green just breaks into the blue. So I'm gonna maybe rethink that. I have a while. The knit along doesn't start until June, so I have some time. Okay, let's go ahead and get into some whips and some unfortunate news. So I decided to pull out my Sitka Spruce Cowl by Jamie Lomax of Pacific Knit Co. I worked on this one evening. I'm just like, I really need to get this done. Again, only one evening of work. So where was I? Here's where I was, and I did about that much of the color work. It's just really slow going because it's not a repetitive color work, and there's bobbles. I wish I would have omitted the bobbles, but it's too late for that. And but again, the color work is not repetitive. It is definitely something you have to focus on, so it's slower. I worked on that. The yarn for that is Sewlivi Dyes yarn. They're one of a kinds that I dyed specifically for this project. So I started something new and I frogged something. So I'll show you the new thing and then the frog thing. Oh, it's chocolate on my pants. So the new thing I started, I don't even have a picture of it because I didn't print it out, but I'm using this. This is Knit Picks Gloss Lace Weight in the colorway River Rock. It is 70% merino and 30% silk. It's really nice. I love this stuff. It's really nice to work with. I started the Viajante, I think that's how it's pronounced, unless there's like an accent to it. Viajante, I don't know. It's by Martina Behm, B-E-H-M. It'll be linked down below. I started this guy and knit all the garter section, which was just a triangle, and then I joined, which is this first part is knit flat, and then you join it in the round, because it is a shawl that actually can be, well, it's a shawl if you have it folded in half along the spine. There's like a little spine that'll go all the way down the thing, so you can fold it in half and wear it like a triangle shawl, or you can have it open and wear it like a poncho, and this part can actually be pulled up and be worn like a hood. So this will stretch. It's just I have it on a thing. So the rest of it is in just stockinette. There's no purling whatsoever in this. What was confusing at first when I first started this was the make ones along the spine. It's not your typical make 9, make 1 increase, where you would pick up a strand in between and knit into that, you're actually just doing a backwards loop cast on for each one, which is kind of nice. Super simple. So just working on that when I want something simple to work on. The only thing I need to do is figure out how I'm going to be able to remember if it's an increase. All right, so the beginning of round, every other round you do a decrease. And so trying to remember if this row that I'm working on is a decrease or not a decrease, that's going to be tricky for me. So I got to figure that out. But I've been working on that. And then my frog, unfortunately, this happened today. Realized the issue last night. So I was working on Cosmos by Lisa Renner, and I got to pass the sleeve split, and I was chugging along, but then I got super nervous about the sizing because it looked really small. Like when I held it against myself, it looked really small. I'm like, oh man. Okay, so I got past the sleeve split, but still I needed to get a little bit more knit under the arms so that I could try it on comfortably without worrying about like really pulling. So I got about this much under the arm, and I was like, okay. Last night I'm like, I'm gonna finally try this on. I go try it on, and it's really tight. So I was like, okay. I went and steam blocked it just to see if maybe that would help, and it did. It loosened it up. It was still tight, but granted, I'm just looking over my numbers again. It looks like I was knitting the sorry, just trying to, that's centimeters. Oh, see, oh, that's centimeter, and that says centimeter too, but I think that means inches. Looks like I was knitting the one that was for to fit the bust of 36.5 inches, and then it would be actual bust of 39 inches. So I'm just like, okay, well that should work, right? My bust is 36 inches. I figured, okay, this is just gonna be form fitting, but it was quite tight. And I don't think it was my color work. I don't think it was the color work. I just think my gauge was just too tight in general. So I was nervous, but you know, after I seam blocked it, I'm like, okay, it can still work. It'll just be form fitting, you know, it'll be a little tight. But then it felt funny around my neck, and I'm like, okay, why is this weird? Like, so I pull it off. I'm like, okay, well, where, you know, I'm like, maybe I have it on backwards and I have the short rows in the front. Maybe that's my problem. So I take it off, put it back on the other way. Still feels funny. I'm like, what is wrong with this? So I pull it off all the way and find where the short rows are, you know, so the back sits up high. You can't tell in the picture. The back sits up higher because you do a bit more knitting in the back to make it sit up higher. So there's more of knitting than in the front. So I'm like, okay, well, here's the back of the knitting. I realized, I don't know how I did this, but I split for the sleeves in the front and the back. So I had a sleeve opening right in the front and one right in the middle of my back. And the short rows were on the side. I don't know how I did that because I followed this. The only place I can think of where I made this mistake was when I was done with the short rows. It says to knit to marker 1, which is now the beginning of round. I could have messed up there. Because when I looked back for dividing for the armhole, it doesn't say you're going to start in a specific place. I'm just assuming you're going to start at your beginning of round and then slip those first number of stitches onto, yeah, it says slip, oh. It says slip a certain number of stitches before marker 1 on the spare needle, onto a spare needle, and then remove marker 1. So I split the wrong way. That's where I made my mistake. Before, like, who does that? If you're at the beginning of your round, you're not going to slip those stitches that are before it. Oh my God. Anyways, so that's my mistake. That's not logical to me to slip those stitches you already knit. Normally you're going to slip those stitches that are after the beginning of round. You're going to slip those first ones and then you're going to continue around. Oh my God. Anyways, so this morning I was like, okay, I'm going to take my needles out. I'm going to pick up the row right before where I split for the sleeves and see if I can figure it out. Well, I struggled with that because the color work, it made it difficult to see which row I was on, like in between the, so where it was in the color or the dark color, that was easy. But once I'd get to like one of these white sections, I couldn't tell if that row was with that one or the above one, because it felt like it was like kind of in between. So I struggled there, and then I decided to like try to keep fixing, like go to the next row up, and I still was struggling. And my strands of yarn were not lining up together in a good spot. And then when I was thinking about it, I'm like, I don't know how I'm going to figure out how to orientate this all to, you know, get to where I need to be to do this sleeve split. So you know what I did? I frogged the entire thing. I just frogged it all, which is sad, considering this piece is kind of a limbo piece for me. I didn't purchase this yarn. It's supposed to be a shop sample if they still want it. I don't want to just have this free yarn. Like, if I don't want to restart this within the next couple of weeks, I'm going to go back to the store and pay for this yarn, because I don't want to be that kind of person. I want to ask at least what they want. But I do kind of want to restart this, so I'm not feeling like completely and utterly discouraged. I'm glad I saw what my mistake was, to be honest, right now. Like, and I even already highlighted the next size up. I'm gonna knit the next size up as well when I restart this, just to make it looser. So I'm gonna do that as well. So this might get restarted within the next week or so. But yeah, I was really sad to have to rip that all out. So I do need to recake a couple of those colors to make it easier to use again. But yeah, I can't believe I screwed up that bad. This pattern is, I mean, this is not a, I don't know if the designer is, I don't think English is her first language. I could be wrong. I mean, this is not terribly written. It's just there's some things that are a little confusing. But yeah, especially that where you're going to slip your sleeve stitches before the marker one, or marker one is the beginning of round marker. That's strange to me, but at least I know that I should put, well, I don't have anything. I'm going to circle that before. It's even bolded in this, but do you think I saw that? No, I'm really good at skimming because I think I know everything. Anyways, so there's that. Figured it out. Okay, so after I pulled all that out, I was like, all right, I'm gonna work on a whip. I'm going to focus on a whip. So I decided to bring my Strya upstairs. It's in the middle of the round, but that's okay. You can still see what's going on. This lovely little piece needs so much attention. This thing's been on the needles for quite some time as well. So I need to get back with it. This is the Strya by Andrea Mowry. I'm using ampersand fibers. Oh, you know what I didn't do? Sorry guys, this is all Malabrigo sock. Malabrigo sock, which is just 100% superwash merino. Yeah, that's it. It's just 100% superwash merino. No nylon, so how is it sock? But I digress. This is ampersand fibers, and this is 100% Corriedale. Yeah, 100% Corriedale. This is the Castellan fingering. And I'm not going to tell you colors because I can't pronounce most of them. So yeah. It's really nice, really soft. It's half fisherman's rib, so it's on a US 2 needle, so it really is a struggle. takes a long time for me to knit because my row gauge is never correct, ever. Like I can hit gauge on needles, your stitch gauge, never row gauge, and I don't know how to correct that other than adding length. So this is going to take some time, and it is slow going. But yeah, I'm going to focus on this one. Also, this was called for Whip Go for April, so that's awesome. Get more work done on this as well. My other project for Whip Go that got called was actually a blank space because I had finished whatever was in that square and I had deleted it. So it's a blank spot for now, so I'm unsure if I want to start something in April or pick another one of my whips and work on that. I'm not sure yet, so I left it. But Straya for sure needs some love. Yeah, that's it for knitting. I have not done any spinning this week. I just kind of don't want to spin that Corriedale fiber, to be honest. So yeah, there's that. I need to, but I just don't want to. Plus again, the sock knitting machine has kind of taken over. I really wanted to get better at it, you know, and I am. There's just some things I need to make sure to remember to do, like just steps wise, so that I don't screw up. Because I think that was my biggest issue. Oh, and then I have issues sometimes where I'm doing the heel on these shorty socks, and for some reason everything gets really, really tight and then just drops a bunch of stitches. So there's that. I have a little bit of haul, and that is it for my video this week. So I'll go ahead and show you. I got some Holst Garn in the mail from Denmark. I got 3 more cones. You can blame the sweet ladies from Knit Inc. They've been going crazy buying cones from Holst Garn. And while I already have, I put them up here actually, because there's so many of them now. Now that I've had a couple, and you know, and then seeing more, like, it's not in person, but you know, not looking at them on the website, it made me want more. Plus, you know, this stuff is good. It's the Holst Garn Super Soft, and I get the 500 grams. Anyways, they made a comment in their last video when they showed all their cones that somebody told them to buy, the most economical shipping cost was to buy 3 cones at once, which is true. Buy 3 cones if you're going to want the shipping, because after 3 the shipping goes up. So I think it's $15 for 1 cone for shipping. It's $25 for up to 3 cones, and then after that, I don't know what it is after that, but I know it's more expensive. Anyway, so I was like, okay, let's go ahead and get 3 cones. I know I wanted Sweet Pea after I saw it on their video. This is like a pink, it's a light pink, but it has, it almost has like orange flecks in it. I don't know, I wanted something pink because I've been kind of wanting to make a pink thing. I think I'm going to make a pink vest, a vest from Petite Knits. I'd have to hold this double or with some kind of mohair, so I don't know. I need to find like a cheap mohair place, you know, somewhere I can get mohair for inexpensive in a wide variety of colors. I think I need to do that because I don't have much mohair, and most mohair is pretty expensive, especially hand-dyed. But yeah, I got Sweet Pea. I decided to get this one. It's Flannel Gray. It's a nice dark gray, heathered gray. It's really nice. This one's really nice. This one's like the softest out of all of them that I got, and it's a lot looser wound, but it's really nice. Nice neutral gray. So I do have ecru, black, and oatmeal. Now I have Flannel Gray, Sweet Pea, and then I wanted like a navy blue. This one is called Prussian. That's where my ancestors are from, Prussia. if that's how it's pronounced, that's where my ancestors come from. So I'm part German, part Prussian. My maiden name is Pinkowski with a SKY and not an I. So, but I didn't pick this color because of that name, but on the website, this looked navy blue. When I got it home, upstairs in natural light, it actually has more of a purple tint to it. I don't know if that's picking up here, but so I think it's purple, like a deep, yeah. I mean, it looks blue, but again, it's got a purple tint to it, so not exactly what I was going for. I really wanted like a navy blue, like my cabinet. That's such a good blue. Blue has been like the thing lately, as you can tell. I don't understand why. Oop, just hit myself with the needles. I don't know why blue is my thing right now, but it kind of is. Anyways, so yeah, I need to start actually like knitting with this stuff. There it went. I'm knitting with this. Again, I do have a pattern I do kind of want to use for this. I'll probably like, did I buy 2 vests? I think I did buy 2 vests patterns by Petite Knit. So another one in like this would be great too. But these vests, I would have to hold it like, I think double or with mohair, because I believe they're either DK or even worsted weight patterns. I'm not sure. But yeah, these are very inexpensive. They're about $23 a cone for 500 grams. The reason why that they are that cheap, if you're unaware, is because they still have the spinning oils on them. They don't feel very soft at first, but once you wash them, you wash out the spinning oils, they plump up a bit and get pretty soft. So it's really great. Who doesn't want a bajillion grams of yarn, honestly, for inexpensive too? So yeah, that is it. I'm gonna go ahead and let you go, and I'm gonna go back upstairs and hang out with my husband, because I bet you his dinner is finished. Oh my gosh. And get back to knitting. So I will see you next week. Bye.